Everything you're about to hear on this podcast was recorded in front of a live audience and is completely improvised. The film title and director's name are kept secret from our guest and team until the moment that we hit record. They're about to work together to create a film that will undoubtedly be a box office smash hit. Welcome to this week's live episode of the Improvised Movie Director Podcast.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Welcome. Well, Robert De Niro said, you have to take it one shot at a time. One shot is all it takes. Well, Robert, you had your shot with me in 1998, and you blew it. Not the fantastic Mr. Fokker he claims to be. Today's director will never blow his shot, believe me. And he is the inimitable, the wonderful, and the esteemed Lesley Whisper, director of E.T. Pray Love. Please welcome him to the stage. Leslie, welcome, darling. Oh, come along. So,
you're right.
I am absolutely delighted that you've joined us here today, Lesley. It's a lifelong ambition to have you on my stage, and here we are with all of these wonderful people to hear all about E.T. Pray Love.
Absolute pleasure to be here. As you know, I have had a bit of a departure for this film. Came initially from very much a sort of film noir background. Moved towards a lot of sort of new wave French-style films, although all filmed in Doncaster.
Yes.
And then for this film, well, you know, it's going to be very exciting for these people to hear about it for the very first time, because it's a completely new genre.
Yes, a completely new genre. And all of these people will be hearing about it for the very first time. So, obviously, I watched it the moment it was released. I don't work, privilege, so I just watched it. But for those of us who have jobs, poor them, and haven't watched it yet, what's it all about, E.T. Pray Love?
Well, the one thing that I've always wondered about is, you know, aliens. Now, do aliens feel the same emotions as us humans? And so I spent like 3 or 4 days thinking about it, and I wrote down my opinions on that. And what I decided was, aliens do have emotions like us humans, but they're even bigger.
Oh, amplified emotions.
That's right.
Oh, how fascinating. And you know what? I really saw that come through in that opening sequence. It was a real smorgasbord of emotions. There was a little bit of lust, a little bit of anger, a little bit of excitement, and a smidgen of grief, which I actually really enjoyed. What a stellar kickoff it was. Tell us, what happens in that opening sequence?
Yes, I'm really glad you picked up on all those emotions.
Yes.
You know, they weren't subtle, I'm going to be honest, but as I said, I do believe that aliens do have bigger emotions. So I think grief was the one that I actually sort of wanted to start with my E.T. Pray Love.
Yes.
So basically, at the start of the film, our titular character, Mr. E.T., finds out that everybody on his entire planet has been killed.
The travesty of it all.
I know. And then he has to go through the entirety of the galaxy until he finds another planet. And that planet, ladies and gentlemen, was called Earth. And on Earth, he tried to use his much bigger emotions with the emotions of a family that he met, whose emotions were much smaller.
And actually, what a lovely juxtaposition of these alien heightened emotions amongst essentially quite a boring family. But we can all learn a little from each other, can't we? No matter where we're from. Let's cut to that opening sequence now of E.T. Pray Love by my friend and yours, Lesley Whisper. Here we go.
This is the ghost of his family. It feels the deep grief of 1,000 deaths.
Big death.
Yes.
The ghost of his family speak to him.
Oh, you must leave this place, E.T. You must go far beyond the stars, for the thing that killed literally all of us will someday come for you. Oh no, I tried to brush your cheek, but my hand went right through because I'm a ghost.
And did you leave the gas on?
Brian, I don't know if this is the right time to worry him about domestic chores.
We've all got heightened problems, Marlene.
I want to know if the gas
was on.
Would you mind checking if the gas was on for your father? Thank you, son.
The gas is not on.
There we go. See? He's fine.
Do what your mother says.
You're always like this. Honestly, I wish you could stick around here, because eternity with this guy as a ghost is going to be unbearable.
Okay, E.T. will immediately leave the ghosts and tread the galaxy. I'm sure there will be many sound effects. I've become more articulate. Shooting stars.
Pew, pew, pew.
All the comets of the world could not make E.T. feel any better. Hot lava is E.T.'s alien 7 hearts, and the blackness of a black hole is E.T.'s mind. Until he lands in Stevenage. Strange place, full of McDonald's, and full of Primark, and full of the Johnson family. But could E.T. find a new family? Who knows? Not E.T., for he is too filled with the grief of 1,000 deaths, all caused maybe by a gas leak.
Lesley, not going to lie to you. That was fucking dark.
Well, it was about 3 a.m. when I came up with the initial plot line. And it was very dark outside, and I think that came through in the writing process.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but the setting on Earth of Stevenage, did a lot of research on that. We got it down to either Stevenage or Dunstable, and we put it to a public vote.
Yes.
And there are more people in Stevenage. And they voted for E.T. Pray Love to be in their little town.
And what a privilege to have such a noble film. Arguably the best thing in Stevenage, after the McDonald's and the Primark and, well, the Johnson family. Talk me through the family. And you've got some excellent casting here. I was rather impressed. So talk me through the lineup in the Johnson family.
Yes, well, obviously we have Gary Johnson. He's the patriarch,
Yes.
as played by Tom Cruise. He was already in England actually for Mission Impossible 17. So I met him at Nando's in Stevenage and talked him through my vision. So he plays the patriarch.
Yes.
We've then got Susan Johnson, who plays the matriarch. Now, as I said, their emotions are very small, and E.T.'s emotions are enormous. And I actually think that these two characters do learn from E.T. how to express their tiny emotions more effectively, whereas I actually think that E.T. himself also learned how to get his enormous emotions pushed down and down and down, as we like to do in England.
Yes, oppression.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And they also had a little daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So the daughter was called Amy,
Yes.
and she was 7 years old. And I think her sense of wonder was very important for E.T.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, Amy is the first of the family that E.T. does meet. And he lands with this enormous grief, but there's something so joyful about Amy that actually it's quite infectious. And they have this wonderful, beautiful moment where they have a voyage of discovery, you know. She shows E.T. things he's never seen before. And we see a little playfulness ignite and then amplify to absolutely astronomically enormous levels, which was wonderful to see staged, frankly. Let's cut to
Wow, a lamppost.
Oh, the joy of you has momentarily quelled my grief, and it is rising too much. Stroke your face with my finger.
That is literally the best thing anyone has ever done to my cheek.
I see you are Amy.
Yeah, and who are you? Oh, wow, look at the way you cry. Amazing. Life really is full of wonders, isn't it, crying, wrinkled boy? Don't cry, why don't you come with me? CWB? Quib, I'll call you. Quib and I, let's go. Look at the wonders of Stevenage. Look how the sun shines on the skyscraper. Look how the Nissan Micras queue. Look how round and round everyone goes, roundabout after roundabout after roundabout. Stevenage sure is a lovely place for a 7-year-old girl to admire urban planning.
Even though it seems shit at first, it turns out that Stevenage is full of wonders.
Just like people. You know, that's really something you've got to learn if you want to stay in Stevenage, CUB. I downed you a U because you were frowning a little bit. I'll promote you, it's okay. CWB, why don't you come home and meet my family?
Is that what we do? You just adopt small wrinkly boys and take them home?
I'm 7, yeah.
Okay.
Mom, Dad, I've got a small new wrinkly boy.
I'll be down in a minute. Ha! What is this?
Why this? Why, it's a boy I found on the street. Isn't he great? You're great too, Dad. I missed you very much when I was away.
Darling, come down.
Oh,
I'll be there.
here comes Mum.
What is this?
You can tell you're related. You look very similar, Mom and Dad.
Do we? No.
Which is weird, but nonetheless.
It's a problem we have in Stevenage.
What is this thing? This thing, it's...
Why, this is a wrinkly boy. And
It's-
this is my mother. She's all right.
I see you had a terrible childhood,
Oh.
which is why your emotions are so small.
Oh, yes. My mother and Dad hardly ever emote around the house. It's very frustrating for me as a Gen Zer who mostly communicates through emojis. Poop emoji.
It's not true, darling, it's not.
That was a great one.
That was a lovely emotion. Where I come from, we have a saying. Emotions are biggest when you make them big.
Wow, where'd you come from? Drama school?
No,
Oh.
I come from a faraway land.
Tell us about it.
It was beautiful. It was full of small, wrinkly people all the time who lived in small, wrinkly houses and ate small, wrinkly food.
Wow.
We had small, wrinkly pets, and there was never any sunlight, which is why we are small and wrinkly.
Reminds me of our holiday to Dunstable.
Yes, it does.
It was beautiful. But now it's all
Oh, it's okay. Don't do the sad spin, CW. It's okay. Wow, these emotions are so huge. Maybe you need to calm it down a smidge.
Just a tad. Bottle it up. Like a mason jar full of honey. As you do. Just bottle it up a little more. So everything is small and tiny and never needs to be opened. And that's the life of someone who lives in Stevenage.
Maybe I could try bottling. I have too much emotions.
I'll fetch you a bottle.
Wow. Isn't it great we have bottles in the house?
It seems to have changed my voice somewhat.
Oh,
Seems like the more you bottle, the more English you become.
Is that right? Is that how English people are made?
I couldn't possibly know.
Wow. Well, I have some things to tell my teacher.
Let's go meet her later.
Okay.
show me the sights of Stevenage again.
Of course I will. Of course.
Be back in time for honey.
Oh, I've never made that connection. Bottle it up and you become really English. God, the Queen must have some stories to tell, eh? Well, I feel like there was a lot of metaphor in there.
A lot of metaphor, but also some very, very direct stuff. I should be honest. The film was part financed by the Stevenage Tourist Board.
Capitalism. I know how that works.
Yes, the slogan was a new story for a new town.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. There was a really weird advertising element to it, and we'll cut to it shortly, where they do a promo tour of Stevenage delivered entirely in rhyming couplets, which I hadn't seen before. What I like about this scene, though, is that we do see E.T.'s emotions getting bottled up, but it's almost like a seesaw effect, because as he gets in charge of his emotions, Gary and Sue, who, let's face it, have been rather bland, suddenly things start livening up a little bit. They're not just going to sit in front of Pop Idol anymore. Yes, I'm down au fait with the current culture. They're not just going to sit at home. They're going to get a bit more lively, a bit more active, and I really liked that. And we saw that come to life when they were showcasing Stevenage. They were proud. They were patriotic about Stevenage. I loved it.
Yeah, I think that might also have been slightly from the aforementioned tourist boards, trying to make the most out of the setting. But you're absolutely right, it's the cosmic balance of emotion, and as E.T.'s emotions become smaller, the Johnson's emotions become bigger.
Yes, physics.
Physics and space.
It's bloody everywhere. Let's cut to that sequence. We've got the promotion of Stevenage, the heightening emotions, the rhyming couplets. Don't worry, I didn't forget I said that bit. Let's see that scene now.
So, you think you know Stevenage?
Uh-huh.
Well, you don't even know a hedge. Let's go and see the town. It'll make you not frown.
The pound shops of Stevenage, wow. I ask my mother, can we go to Stevenage now? Up the train line or the A40 something. You won't be regretting or leaving with nothing.
I like the bus. It causes no fuss.
I like the train, especially when it pours down crap.
I just want to scream and shout because I go round a roundabout. Everything here is lovely and great. Oh, look at that, McDonald's on my plate. A Primark too. What could this be? Shops galore. What do we do? When do we do it? Everything's great if you Stevenage it.
And if you're into culinary delights, why not come to Pizza Express tonight? Prince Andrew's never been there, and most people have lots of hair.
Stevenage, town of my home. Stevenage, I'll never roam. Stevenage, what do you say to visiting the best town in the England? Done it!
Marvellous, loved it. And look, great to see Gary and Sue coming to life there. I enjoyed it.
Yes, but we do probably end up spending a little bit too much time on them. And that was, again, a slight result of the pressure and the influence from the Stevenage Tourist Board. So I actually did have to put my foot down and say that we did need a bit more E.T. in the film and follow his actual narrative and journey towards enlightenment.
Yes, and there's actually a really critical moment about halfway through the scene where Amy and E.T., they have a conversation, and Amy's been largely ignored by her family. She's been left to have this sense of wonder all by herself. She's found her first friend. Was all going swimmingly well, and then they have their first argument. And actually, that's a real seismic moment for Amy, for E.T., questioning friendship, morality, trust.
Particularly as on E.T.'s home planet, which only actually had a few thousand people on it in total. It was a very underpopulated planet. This meant that there weren't actually that many conflicts because no one really lived that close to each other apart from when they were ghosts. So for both E.T. and Amy, they were both learning while they were arguing, and they had to get back to their own personal cosmic balance.
It's all about that balance. Let's cut to that arguing scene, and I think we can all learn a lot from this. We really can.
Wow, The delights of Stevenage never fail to delight. Oh, sorry, I forgot to hold.
I feel some simmering resentment from you when I touched your hand.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realise I'd let that show. I tried to push that deep down inside, and hey, who gives you permission to read my emotions anyway? If I want to project an aura of wonderment on the world and crush down my feelings into little tiny gnats that I stomp on until they're dust, that's my right as a 7-year-old.
Oh no, conflict. I'm a people-pleasing E.T. No.
You're a coward.
No.
You're a coward.
Yes, I am. Please, let's stop.
No, I don't want to stop an argument. I'm 7!
No, shouting. The motion copy button.
You know what? The entirety of Stevenage hates you.
What?
CWB. That's such a stupid name, but you don't even have the confidence to change it. The wonder I feel about Stevenage is infinitely diluted by the disgust I feel when I look in your face.
Stevenage is stupid. I was just playing along because I don't have any friends and family anymore. God! Everyone's got roundabouts at a Pizza Express. It's shit. Everyone's dead. I'm just going to throw you away, am I? God. I had to put on that stupid... so kids always adopt me for a bit. God damn it. I promised myself I wouldn't be like this.
Well, I don't think Stevenage is the best place in the world.
No, but Manchester's much better.
Next, you're going to be saying that you prefer Dunstable.
No, I won't go that far. That's
Okay,
too
all right,
far,
fine,
too far.
I can't believe you. You were the best friend, my first proper friend, and it was all a lie. I'm going to go and run towards the river that goes through Stevenage.
No.
Don't try to look for me.
Oh, I was going to have to explain to you that friends you make, you gradually find out they're pricks.
Well, thanks. That makes me feel much better.
My, Lesley, I've got to ask, who hurt you, dear?
I did put a lot of my own childhood into this film, particularly in that particular scene, because I myself am a people pleaser, but actually I was a people pleaser on Earth as opposed to in space, which is much harder.
And actually, I thought we got a little glimmer there that maybe E.T. got a little bit of an anger issue, I thought. Is there more behind why everyone on their home planet died? Is there more that we didn't really know about?
I'm really glad you asked that,
Yes.
actually. Yeah, it was painted in a lot of the alien newspapers as an accident. But actually, it wasn't an accident. E.T.'s own volcanic rage was in many ways responsible for the disaster that killed everyone on his own planet. He pressed the wrong button.
Dangerous. Volcanic rage is the most dangerous of the emotions, and we see it simmering up in E.T., and he has a moment, a monologue, a moment of realization where he feels that anger brewing, some flashbacks to what happened before, and we hit a critical point in the film. Can E.T. pray and love himself out of this volcanic rage? Can he do it? Let's see.
I landed in Stevenage. I came from a planet where everything was brown and wrinkly. My mum never hugged me enough, and my dad was distant. And so, that night, I pressed the button. The volcanic rage which lies at the bottom of the planet came up, and it felt good. But only for a while. And then it felt empty. And then E.T. was all alone, looking out into space, like a bicycle flying by a moon. And I felt the warm shrouding of a hoodie falling off me. And you realize even though people are shit, they're all you've got. So you've got to love the people you've had, which is a pretty bad realization to have. Now you've killed your entire race, but nonetheless, that is the conclusion that I've had. It could be eat, pray, die, or it could be eat, pray, love. Maybe I should read the Bible. That's the prayer bit. I've got a long neck. It's perfect for a dog collar.
Did you leave the gas on?
Did you leave the gas on? Did you leave the gas on? Inner turmoil, inner turmoil, inner turmoil. Questions about your family. Questions about your family.
That really helps.
Yes, your family.
That really helps. Join organised religion. It'll solve everything. Thanks.
The local Stevenage church is open 6 days a week.
No! They give you cake, but they don't mean it well!
The local Stevenage church, to the left of the local Stevenage church, is open 5 days a week.
Oh, they give you tea, but it's just to get you in there!
There's a summer fete. A summer fete. Could it be your summer fate?
No, I won't do it. Praying is whatever makes you feel at peace. And that for me is Stevenage.
Absolutely beautiful, Lesley. Wonderful to see that journey. Surely an Oscar in here for you, I feel.
Well, I do hope at least 3 Oscars.
So look, we move to the closing sequence of the film and well, some remedial action required. E.T., like most people, has been a bit of a prick and needs to make amends with Amy. Needs to go back and restore this 7-year-old's faith in friendship and love and trust. Needs to get Gary and Sue to open up a little, just a smidgen. Not so much that you become French, but just a little bit. And so we see a rousing sequence at the end, back in the Johnson family, in good old Stevenage, where E.T. teaches them the importance of loving each other whilst they still can. And I won't lie to you, Lesley, I shed a tear. I shed a tear. Before we see it, can I ask you, has it changed your opinions on life and love?
Well, Martina, before I made this film, I was extremely lonely.
Oh. Me too, Lesley.
And now that I've made the film, I think I might start giving other people a chance.
Well, if you need somewhere to start, Lesley, mine's a sweet sherry at the bar. But for now, let's see that closing sequence and, well, had a real feel-good factor that I can't find anywhere else. Let's cut to...
And then, he said that people are rubbish and pricks, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word because I'm 7.
No, I'd be angry if I had emotion now. I'm just very...
This is what me being understated seems like, because I am 7.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Gary, this is not enough. My parents never gave me any wrinkly hugs or cared when I had emotions, and I killed them all in a terrible rage. So take from that what you will.
Sorry, you did what?
You did leave the gas on.
Oh, the gas is what we call the planet's core.
Oh no.
Don't tread down the path that E.T. did. Eat with your family. Pray with your family in whatever way that means. And love your family.
Oof, emotions inside. Oof, Britishness becoming French. Oh, c'est incroyable. Oh.
Dad, are you okay?
I'm magnifique. I can't believe this happened. Oh, my daughter. Lovely love time.
My first ever wrinkly hug. Thanks, E.T., or should I say murky buckets?
A joke. How French.
D'aujourd'hui.
Well, it's been wonderful in Stevenage. But much like Mary Poppins, I only come when I'm needed.
Don't laugh, Marge. Don't laugh. It's got nothing to do with you. Don't...
Wait, does that mean you're leaving? You can't leave Stevenage. It's not Leavenage.
I think you've got everything you need right here, Amy. And Gary. And Sue.
Yes.
Wow. Thanks for making my dad French.
That's okay. I think after all, aren't we all a little bit Francais?
I hope so. I'm not sure what Francais means. I'm a product of the English education system, after all.
I'll never forget you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Look at him go in his spaceship.
Oui.
D'accord.
Oh, Lesley, wonderful. E.T. Pray Love, or should we say, Manger, Prier, Aimer?
We should say that, yes.
Yes. That private education really paid off. Look, I'm sad to say we've come towards the end of our interview. I have, however, heard a rumour, Lesley, that you've got another film in the works. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I do have another one up my sleeve.
Ooh, what is it? Tell us all.
Well, after the success of this film,
Yes.
I have decided to make a remake of one of my favourite films.
What is it?
Magnificent Seven, but this time it's underwater.
Oh, wonderful.
It's about climate change.
Oh, topical. So what's the title of the film?
It's called The Magnificent Seven, but it's underwater.
Wonderful. And actually, Lesley, I hope you don't mind. I'm very well connected, and I have got a clip of the trailer.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh,
Could I play it?
go on then.
Okay, everybody, here's The Magnificent Seven, but underwater, by our friend Lesley Whisper. Let's see it.
From the mind of Lesley Whisper, creator of such films as It's Grim and Dunstable and E.T. Pray Love, comes an underwater spectacle that is also a metaphor for climate change.
It looks like there's some trouble in this here reef.
This town in we're gonna make a name of it with the light of the world. You okay with you smoking up here? Yeah, ready for you. I'm on the road.
I have to forfeit this underwater gunfight. I cannot continue.
Winner again.
Coming this December.
I think I speak for us all when I say there really are no words. I can't wait, Lesley. I can't wait.
I think I'm going to win at least 7 Oscars for that one.
Absolutely. That'll be your Magnificent Seven, for sure. Look, Lesley, it's been an absolute privilege and an honour. Before we slink off for that sherry, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah, I think my main words of wisdom are, if you want to make a film, just do it.
And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, and aliens, please give a warm round of applause for Lesley Whisper.
And welcome to
The Improvised Movie Director podcast featured Sabrina Luisi as Martina Minnow, with resident improvisers Vicky Hawley, Rory Vieira and Ryan J. Murphy. With special thanks to today's guest, James Walsh. This episode was filmed with a live audience at Hoopla, with special thanks to the Hoopla team and the Miller. Also delighted to be joined by Tom Hodge, who is our musical accompanist for the evening. IMDp is produced and edited by Steve Tanner. Theme music by Matt Brown and Johnny Griffiths. Episode artwork by Marty Sears. Follow us at Improv Movie Pod for updates on future episodes and live shows. Improvised Movie Director Podcast is a 4 Foot 1 Films production.